all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
How you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So you.
I guess it wants me to just start the show now. Okay. Hey, y'all, Gravity, any day above ground living. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. Stream y'all on that bullshit, but we're going to persevere through it. Fam, if I didn't see this yesterday in passing on Twitter, you never would have known this. Brandon Tatum crashed out. It is happening, fam. This man is on the verge of losing his platform.
What the hell?
And we like it. We like it a lot.
So put on the full armor of God, Jesus Christ. I love you, God. Him, a true Jesus Christ.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
He showed up again on Piers Morgan. Yes, he did. Except as you see in the thumbnail on the screen, and partially on YouTube, he got pressed by the dude on his left, your right, and the white man in between Piers Morgan and the one with the blue blazer. When I tell you this went off the rails and Brandon Tatum exposed himself to a bigger audience on how thuggish he is, that would be an understatement. We're going to look at this, and thankfully this is only about 50 minutes, so we don't have to be here all day like we were with Nick Fuentes. But get your popcorn ready. We're going to have some fun. And again, apologies. I was up around 5:30 this morning. I did my thing, ate some breakfast, and I said, you know what, let me take a little nap. And then I wake up, it's damn near 8:30. Well, no, I'm sorry, 8:52. So I apologize. Yes, I must have been really tired. But anyway, before we start all that, let's see who's in the building. Gamers Den, hello. Miss Nisi, hello. Brother Torian Rain, hello. Wallow J, hello. Boilermaker, hello. Hi to myself. DSA, hello. Reparations Nation, hello. Priscilla Taylor, hello. Emmanuel, hello. Elder Barber, hello. Stream Elements Bot, you bastard, hello. And sorry. Cosmo Fury, hello. For those who haven't said anything in the live chat or comments, hello. Let's just get this out the way now. Wallow J, thank you for being a member for 22 months. That's a blessing. Remember, it's only 99 cents. Helps me reinvest back in the platform, buy toys and clothes for the baby. And when you let us know how long you've been a member or do become a member of the channel or buy super chat or super sticker, we let you know how much we appreciate that. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
And Miss Niecy, thank you for being a member for 27 months. That's a blessing. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
All right. So let's do the customary house cleaning because we're about to watch this crash out. And Lehman Lucas, good morning. So let's get that done.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now,
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Fam, it's funny already. It's funny already. Look at the thumbnail. It's funny already.
I prayed for this and it happened.
This is the thumbnail that Piers Morgan used for Brandon Tatum Tots. Orlando, this is how much the white media does not like you. You know what? I'm not even going to spoil it. We're going to have this fun.
Get to work! Line in politics and in culture is no longer right or left. It's a lot to do with basic trust. Do you believe this person is honest? Are they authentic? Are they telling the truth? That's why podcasters like Joe Rogan have displaced the corporate media, and why politicians like Bernie Sanders are among the most popular in America, whether you agree with their politics or not. After the past few weeks, it's hard to see how some key figures in the Trump administration...
Okay, so you already lied. Bernie Sanders being popular? Where? We need to know this. Cosmo Fury, you asked a very important question. Yes, you did. I saw it. Well, for those who've never seen that crash out, we have it. Yes, we do. We'll do comparisons. We will. That crash out wasn't long. So we will compare. Let me just grab it real fast. Where it? There we go.
I gotta go. They're quick to run and grab that talking point of Biden and Hillary Clinton. And created the I'm gone, man. Bill. They created you the fakest nigga I ever seen in my life. They created the crime bill. I see you in person.
You.
You said I'm done, bro. You a fake nigga. I hope everybody see that. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. And when I see you, nigga, it's gonna be on. Woo! I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone
and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime?
You's a bitch. I told you. Everybody on your live stream know you's a bitch, and when I see you, I'm whooping your ass.
Woo!
Everybody got your
Whoa.
I like it. You want to be hood, nigga? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me, and you call me? You saying you apologize? Yeah, nigga.
I never apologize.
You apologize?
I never
You didn't
apologize.
apologize. My wife listened to you, nigga.
I never apologized. What I said was, what I said was,
bitch, nigga.
That's what I said.
Yes, sir. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Now you have your benchmark. So let's get back to this.
Can ever be trusted again, having chosen scripted gaslighting over honesty at a moment of genuine crisis.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently.
Resisted, fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers.
An agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately.
Delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Well, anybody who'd seen the footage of Alex Pretty's shooting knew it just didn't stack up. And the same can be said about many of the arguments put forward to effectively justify his death. This was one of the most popular.
Number one, the Second Amendment is a right. I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. You have the right to carry a weapon to defend yourself, not the privilege. It is a right. Those rights come with restrictions. I think you would understand that more than anyone at this table. One of those restrictions is you have to have your ID and your permit on you. We don't know. Current reports are he didn't have either one of those on, at which point he's not carrying legally.
Fine, that's all true. But we know that he did have a permit for his gun. And the law says he has to show it when requested to do so. Where in the footage did any of the officers stop to ask him for his paperwork? And why was Kyle Rittenhouse a hero for not using his common sense? But Alex Pretti caused his own death by not using his common sense. The only thing Pretti was brandishing was his iPhone, which has also become an unlikely source of contention.
I want to show you something. Does that look like a gun? I think it does a little bit. It's a phone. It's black, like most phones. That's crazy stuff.
Well, crazy stuff is...
You mean like when y'all did Homeboy out there in South, in Sacramento, where y'all shot him in the backyard because he had his phone out? Oh, but they got split-second decisions to make. Oh, okay. That's the bootlicking excuse. I thought y'all wanted cops that have training and can de-escalate. Oh, we're still in the phase of neutralize the threat. Oh, okay. All right. I just want to know.
Correct. Many people were justifiably furious with Biden officials and liberal media personalities who repeatedly told them to disbelieve their lying eyes, not least about Biden's own health. They were also furious about the idea that angry white conservatives were domestic terrorists and the single greatest threat to America. Most of those people voted for President Trump because they were sick of it. They didn't give his enforcers a mandate to repeat the exact same playbook. Well, joining me to discuss all this is Tim Miller, the commentator with The Bulwark, Jonathan Fahey, he's a former acting ICE director, Brandon Tatum, a.k.a. the Officer Tatum, and Brian Tyler Cohen, host of No Lies. So welcome to all of you. Tim Miller, it seems to me it's been a very significant 48 hours, actually, for Donald Trump, for his administration, for the wider public, and for this issue of trust and being able to believe what we see with our own eyes. Because if you listen to what these administration officials were saying in the immediate aftermath of this killing, then this guy, Alex Pretti, was about to launch a massacre of law enforcement officers, when we could all see from the various clips that were coming out that that simply wasn't true. He was defending a woman protester who'd been thrown on the floor. He was then thrown on the floor himself. Yes, he had a weapon on him, but at no stage did he brandish that weapon or represent any threat to the 8 ICE officers that engulfed him. And in fact, they took away his gun and then they killed him. So given that we could all see that, I think what's happened here, which has been really pretty unprecedented and quite fascinating to watch, is that Donald Trump has realized this has crossed a line many people may not have thought Donald Trump was aware of or cared about. And that line being, if you try and tell people that what they've just seen with their own eyes is not true, they're not going to buy it. trust in you is going to erode, and your polling numbers are going to get slayed, and ultimately it will cost you at the ballot box. What's your reading of it?
Well, I hope you're right, Piers. I hope that Donald Trump changes course. I think we've seen some very minor evidence of that, replacing Greg Bovino with Tom Homan. For me, I would have preferred that all of the ICE and CBP agents be removed from Minneapolis immediately and then taken off the streets and brought back to D.C. or to the border where they're supposed to be. Minneapolis is famously 300 miles from a border. And, then they could reassess what a program would look like where they actually went after the worst of the worst rather than menacing American citizens and menacing people who are here legally. And I do agree with you that the American people overwhelmingly do not want and do not support a government that murders its own citizens in the street, that unloads a clip and shoots them 10 times, fires 6 bullets into their dead body on the ground, and then lies about them and smears them after they're dead. I think that the vast majority of Americans don't want that. You'll probably be able to find a couple of shills to come on and defend that on this show, but I think the vast majority of Americans say, no, we do not want murderous mass thugs anonymously killing our fellow Americans. And so I do think that that is showing up in the polls. I think you're seeing Donald Trump's numbers erode massively, particularly among Hispanics, but also among young men, the libertarian types, the folks that really believed the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, the folks that really believed in the First Amendment, which protects free speech, which protects taping people in your community if you want to, as well as the Second Amendment, which protects your ability to carry a weapon. So the young men that flocked to Trump, I think, thinking that he was going to be a free speech president, are now seeing the truth, and I do think it's hurting him with them as well.
Yeah, Officer Tatum, welcome back to Uncensored. I mean, the really frustrating thing for Donald Trump must be that a large part of his immigration policy has been extremely successful and well received. And I'm talking specifically about the basic closure of a southern border. After years of Biden allowing millions of people to come in illegally, Trump has stopped it. That's a great win for his administration. It's something most Americans agree with. And yet here he is now getting quite negative polling about his immigration policies. And I think it's all come down to this issue of how the ICE agents are behaving in these rural areas and these back-to-back shootings, deadly shootings of protesters.
Well, it's because of mindless people like the gentleman that just finished speaking is the reason why people have this perception that Donald Trump is somehow doing something wrong.
So the thug came in there, didn't address the room. No, to be fair, the first guy didn't either. But you went in for the insult already. Instead of, now remember, y'all just heard that man talk, didn't insult this man one time. He came and started insulting. Okay.
They deported 600,000 people. They've deported people who have committed murder, rape, all kinds of dangerous and felonious crimes. Also, they're deployed in all 50 states. Why is Minnesota the only state that's having issues? And then to get on TV and say that a guy is observing the First Amendment and Second Amendment while he's at a protest, assaulting ICE agents, Border Patrol agents. He committed an assault, a felonious assault against the ICE agent. That's how he got into a physical altercation while carrying a firearm without notifying
what was the assault?
When the Border Patrol pushed the lady, he went hands on. That is a felony. You cannot do that.
He didn't assault anyone. But Brandon, his.
You see how he bootlicking already? Y'all see it. This is, see what Brandon wants. Brandon wants us to just comply. This spokesperson, if you know, you know, this spokesman for cops, he's never worked on the federal level as a cop. He was mainly county. This cop, I don't even think he really was county, but city cop will be nice. City cop wants us to just let the cops do whatever they want. No backlash. We're not supposed to defend the citizens, even though, again, Supreme Court said that the cops are not supposed to, they're under no obligation to help the citizens. They're there to uphold the public trust and protect businesses. But yeah. Okay, bootlick, Tatum. Okay.
Is that not a felony crime?
No.
When you say what you witnessed was an assault.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We pushing cops now. Hey, Tatum, did old boy out there in DC, the dude who threw the sandwich, did he get felony charges? No, he didn't. They dropped that shit. Oops. And he threw a whole sandwich.
Physically
well,
assault.
Brandon, when you say hang on, let me finish. When you say what you witnessed was when you say what you witnessed was an assault by Alex Pretti on ICE officers, that is not what I witnessed.
Pierce, do you because you don't live in America, you've never done law enforcement, you don't understand the law. And with all due
I've got a home in America. I've lived in America on and off for 20 years.
But I'm saying you are not vested in American law enforcement. When you grab somebody like Pretti did with an ICE agent, that is an assault, subject to an arrest. They had every right to take him down to the ground. He had a gun on him knowingly, came with multiple magazines.
But you should agree with that.
What? I don't agree with that.
Look, I was defamed there.
Hang on. Let me finish. Yeah, I will come back. Brandon,
if you want to peacefully protest, you can carry a gun.
Brandon,
you can't assault
I have spent 20 years working and living in America a lot of the year, right? So I know America very well. I've covered a lot of these stories over the years, for CNN, for others, for Fox, for others, everyone, right? So you don't have to slightly patronize me with you're not from these
I'm not patronizing
America.
True because
I have a home. I've owned. Hang on, Brandon. Let me finish. I've owned a home in Los Angeles for 16 years, okay? So I do understand how law enforcement works in America. I understand what the law is, right? I understand all of these things. But I look at what happens. Immediately you say that if you take
Piers Morgan, you ain't shit for that because I saw what you just did. Y'all heard what he just did and saw it. He said, I know the law. I've been in America for 16 years. That just triggered something in this man. Oh, the crash out is coming.
Take a gun to a protest. But that's exactly what I've heard.
No, when you fight people when you fight
hang on, Brandon. I haven't finished my question.
By the way, he's the only one on this panel that has his legs crossed. I didn't want to bring that up, but I don't know if anybody else noticed it. He's the only one here who has his legs crossed. Sir, why do you have your legs crossed?
Jesus Christ. Is this a joke? Huh? Are you joking right now?
Where's your open mansplaining stance? Where is it? The women like that. He is somebody. I guess this is probably his little studio where he be hiding out from the wife and kids, and his legs are crossed. What are we doing?
Smack. Who is this nigga?
Hey, conservatives, this is who y'all are endorsing. Say less. We could say more, but I mean, legs crossed in front of 4 white men. I mean, maybe you want to protect yourself because, you know, bed bucking and all that. Maybe. I ain't sure. But let's continue.
Get to work. Question. For 20 years, I've battled with the NRA and with the conservative right.
Shout out to the NRA
and I eventually concluded this is an issue for Americans to resolve amongst yourselves. I respect that. It's your country, your culture, your laws, your guns. However, there is a blazing hypocrisy in this narrative that's been spewed about Alex Pretti that somehow one of the problems here was he was carrying a gun. He was carrying it legally.
No, the problem is not carrying a gun.
Under his Second Amendment rights.
By the way, y'all are letting a thug who got arrested at 8 talk for this. That's the other problem, but that's okay. I know y'all do it. And yes, I did see the Amazon advertisement for the Melania documentary. They are raking that over the coals right now, but you know, it is what it is. Keep going.
The problem is not carrying a gun. The problem is getting to a physical altercation with intentionally and premeditated a physical altercation with ICE agents. I carry a gun everywhere I go. I got my gun on me right now. I would never confront or get in a physical altercation.
Who is that? Derek, good morning. That's his leg right there. His knee, that's his knee right here. That's his knee. He literally has his legs crossed. Like we not fixing to do this. Not this morning. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying we gotta see it. That look, I'm on film. Look, I moved my mic. Let me get this out of here for a second. Look. That's basically how he's sitting. That's how he's sitting. He has his legs crossed. I don't know why. You can't be that uncomfortable. I ain't sure. You're not an idiot. I'm just saying. Maybe you didn't see it because he's wearing all black. He's wearing the black conservative aesthetic. You got to have on a blazer with a hoodie. Nigga, you in the house. Why are you in the house wearing a hoodie? And you're not about to go outside. What are we doing? Oh, no. Keep going, Brandon. You about to cook.
With any law enforcement with a gun on me. You learn that in CCW class and as a person with common sense. Because what happens?
What you learn?
Things
What you learn?
or get in a physical altercation with any law enforcement with a gun on me. You learn that in CCW class and as a person with common sense. Because what happens? Things get twisted up. You have the gun get exposed. They yell, gun, gun, gun. He's reaching for his waistband. They think he has a gun. All of that is going to be justification under the law because the perception of the Border Patrol agent that believed that he was armed and dangerous at the time that he fired the shots is going to be justification.
They took his gun away.
Wait a minute, sir. So if I have a gun on me, that gives y'all legal recourse to shoot me? The gun is holstered. That means you're going to shoot me. Do you understand what he's saying right now? Alex Pretti was not holding the gun. He was holding his cell phone. His left hand was empty. And I saw a whole bunch of MAGA idiots and right-wing shills talking about, oh, his left hand was empty. How the hell? Seriously? How was he able to push the cop? Get to the wall, then get to the ground, then notice he had the gun in his hand? Is that what we're doing? And why is Tatum sitting here clapping like a black woman? What are we doing? He's playing with us. This is an act. He's scripting. He's scripting. I know.
Why do you feel a necessity to insult people?
Again.
Is that
where's the script? Where's the script? Read the script.
Is this a big defensive thing that you've got?
Read the script.
Why don't you read your own script?
Oh, look, somebody came in, he mad. Well, stay mad, bitch. I'm going to keep talking. He clapping like a black woman.
As a person with common sense. Because what happens? Things get twisted up.
Clap again. Clap again.
They yell, gun, gun, gun. He's reaching for his waistband. They think he has a gun. All of that is going to be justification under the law because the perception of the Border Patrol agent that believed that he was armed and dangerous at the time that he fired the shots is going to be justification.
They took his gun away.
For anybody on this panel. Just like
they took his gun away. We literally see them take his gun off him, and then they kill him.
That doesn't mean that the Border Patrol agent who shot him saw the gun being removed, Pierce.
So y'all not working in concert. So you're making their point for them. You got a bunch of rogue agents out there. Where are the tactics? So the guy that took the gun didn't say gun? Because I've seen many a cop show and I've seen some cop interactions on the street. When they take the gun, they yell, gun secured. So he just took the gun and ran away? Huh. Okay. And then y'all still shot him. Okay. Say less.
That is
look, Brandon, please. We've listened to this enough. For starters, your whole spin is crazy. This idea that you started your thing by saying this was justified because the Border Patrol agent came and pushed a woman to the ground. Why are Border Patrol agents? Excuse me, sir. Let me continue. Why are Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis, nowhere near the border, pushing American citizen women to the ground? Brandon, shut up for a second.
How law works, they have jurisdiction to enforce immigration law within the boundaries of the city.
Yeah,
what the heck are you talking about?
Was she an immigrant? Was she an illegal immigrant?
Who?
They pushed an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
You don't understand law.
Shut up, Brian.
Yes. That white man, he went to level because they only max out at about 6 when they face don't turn red. He told that man to shut up. He said he don't care who you are. I don't care if you're American. Shut up. Good Lord, we are going to have so much fun. Shut up. You know, he sound like Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop when he told Jenny to shut up because she was going to try to explain her way out of that so she don't get killed. He said, I don't want to hear it. Lord have mercy. And we didn't even get to Brian Tyler Cohen yet. It's about to be fun.
You talking about?
Was she an immigrant? Was she an illegal immigrant?
Who?
They pushed an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
Do you not
Shut
understand
up.
law?
Shut up, Brian. Brandon, whatever your name is. The entire
Fam, how you let this man tell you to shut up? One more time. This is funny. And look at the man in the middle. He over it.
To enforce immigration law within the boundaries of the city.
Yeah,
what the heck are you talking about?
Was she an immigrant? Was she an illegal immigrant?
Who?
They pushed an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
Do you not
Shut
understand
up.
law?
Shut up, Brian. The police force.
Don't make me shut
shot
up.
0 bullets.
You
all
be a
years
thug.
last
You
year.
said grown
0
man.
bullets.
You want to
Law
problem with me?
enforcement works for
Okay,
us.
so I thought.
They don't get to shoot American citizens
They
10
can stop
times
you
and
from
shoot 6
obstructing
bullets
an
into our
investigation.
dead bodies. They don't get to push down women.
What
They
a-
work
what
for
a
us.
puss.
They represent us. We
You-
pay
you
them.
grow a
They
pair.
need to use restraint and
Grow a
de-escalate.
pair.
Okay, they are here there to
All right,
serve
all right.
and protect
Time out.
us, not to
Time
push
out.
women
Let
to
me
the
bring
ground,
you-
not to shoot guys.
Okay,
in
time
the
out.
neck.
Time
They
out,
were
guys.
citizens
Time out.
executing their rights, and they got murdered. And you're on here defending them.
Okay, let me
Ooh, I think that's Brian. Sorry, not Brian. I think that's Brandon's version of saying SMD. Pause. He told him to SMD. Pause. That's the best you got?
What the hell was that?
That's the best he got? Come on, Brandon. You from Texas. I know y'all got some creative shit y'all can say down there. That's the best? All right. I guess. All right, let's move on.
Ghoul.
All right.
Brave
Okay, hang on.
He's dead.
Time out, please. Time out, please. I want to bring in
Time
Jonathan Fay because you're a former acting ICE director. But first, I want to play a clip from Donald Trump about the gun part of this.
That being said, you know, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that. But it's a very unfortunate incident.
Do you agree with the assessment from some of your own officials that Alex Pretti is a domestic terrorist or an assassin?
Well, I haven't heard that, but certainly he shouldn't have been carrying a gun. But I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff. And despite that, I say that's a very unfortunate.
Now, the thing is, Jonathan Fay, I've repeatedly heard Donald Trump say he's the biggest Second Amendment guy in America, right? How does that square with what he's saying there about this protester who was there, had a lawful right to have a firearm and the ammunition? He's saying he shouldn't have taken it, but that's a repudiation of his constitutional rights, isn't it?
I don't think so at all, and I don't view it the same way in that, yeah, you have a right to carry a firearm, but that also comes with responsibilities. I know Tim's rolling his eyes there, but the thing is, what the issue is here is this person injected himself in the situation, and I'm not going to come to a conclusion because I don't know what happened, but he injected himself into a law enforcement situation, and he was armed, and he went there. He didn't go there to protest, my understanding. These people weren't holding up signs saying open borders, mass amnesty. He was injecting himself into a situation to interfere with ICE doing their job. The legal issue, and you don't just come out and say it's murder if someone dies. The issue is, did this officer have a reasonable belief that his life or the lives of others were in danger of being lost? or being seriously injured. And one thing, hang on a second, Tim. It's important from the officer's perspective and what's reasonable, and they are in this high pressure situation. And the fact that the gun was removed, that's a factor, but it's not the only factor, because you don't know in these situations, does he have another gun or something else to make someone safe? So the questions
Did
you
any
want
of
to
your
ask
agents
are,
ever fire 10 bullets into an American citizen? Did that ever happen when you were acting director? Did they ever fire 10 bullets into an American citizen?
Tim, if you could
did that ever happen?
A little bit.
Did you ever do that?
Look, I can answer the question if you
Hold on.
if you're,
are
you performing?
Hold on. Have we finally gotten there? Somebody called it. They out here white girl rapping.
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking rock. I'm top 2 and definitely not the brother. I got the mojo, lots of bubbles and
Why don't white crime? Let's get it.
Or can I just
No, I'm asking. It's a fair question. Did that ever happen? You were the acting director. Did any of your agents ever kill American citizens?
Are we here to talk about this, or is it just
don't talk over? Yeah, I agree.
What is it?
Let's not talk over each other. So I think the question Tim is asking is a reasonable one.
I know the emasculated males are up in arms, Tim, but come on.
Wow.
All right, but
you're saying
Jonathan,
the problem is that I would say the person. Excuse me. I would say the person.
Please don't talk over each other. Guys,
he just called me an emasculated male.
Please don't talk over each other. Guys, no one can hear you when you talk over each other.
Okay.
Jonathan,
he said the question that Tim, you want to perform.
Please let me conduct this panel. Thank you. The point Tim was making to you, Jonathan, was in all your time as ICE director, acting ICE director, did you ever have an incident like this where an ICE official put 10 bullets, or 2 of them did, put 10 bullets into an American citizen?
I can tell you, I know a lot about police shootings. I was a federal prosecutor 17 years. I defended police and police shootings. And the way they are trained, and Brandon will confirm this, you fire until the threat is no longer a threat, and then you reevaluate. So the fact that there are 10 bullets. Your 17 years, I've defended police and police shootings. And the way they are trained, and Brandon will confirm this, you fire until the threat is no longer a threat, and then you reevaluate. So
He said that many a time. Oh, Tatum tots. Now you done heard it from somebody that worked with ICE, federal prosecutor, and all that. You shoot until the threat is neutralized, and then you reevaluate. Meaning, how you gonna spin it? Just for those who think that we lying when we be calling them cops out for doing stuff like that. That's how they're trained. They're trained to delete you and then make it look like it was your fault from the beginning, like they did with Breonna Taylor. That's why they're all up in arms that the one cop got charges and he had to go to jail. Same thing with Ahmaud Arbery. Same thing with George Floyd. But we continue.
The fact that there are 10 bullets, you don't just say, we've heard Joe Biden, remember, you shoot in the leg or whatever. You don't do that. And that's not the way they're trained. So if the issue is the number of bullets, then the question is maybe they should be trained differently, but they are trained to eliminate the threat. Yeah. The question is still, I agree, an open question. Was this a threat that should have used deadly force? And that needs to be investigated. But the number of bullets is really not a dispositive factor. And I know everyone wants to make a...
Explain to me how Alex Pretti was a threat to the public trust. That's what I want to know.
I'm sorry, he was laying on the ground.
I want to bring in, hang on. I want to bring in Brian, who's been waiting very patiently. And Brian, I think I read this week you've just passed 5 million subscribers to your channel. Is that right?
I did, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. Seriously, that's how you start off?
He did it through the patience.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you on, and congrats on that. It's a big milestone. So, Brian, you've been waiting very patiently. It's been interesting to watch the big rein back. You've watched Kristi Noem basically chucking Stephen Miller under a bus. Stephen Miller is the guy that actually tweeted about this guy being a potential assassin. It was him that fired up that narrative that he was a potential assassin, which was clearly completely ridiculous. Whatever your take on what we've all watched on these video clips, the idea that somehow he was planning to assassinate all those ICE officers is plainly absurd and offensive. What are we seeing here? Today,
we ain't seeing this commercial.
Get 70% off your first order. Get 70% off with the code PEERS.
We're seeing from Stephen Miller, from Greg Bovino, Kristi Noem, JD Vance, Donald Trump, the same thing, frankly, that we're seeing on this panel right here, which is this level of gaslighting and kind of narrative setting that, frankly, nobody believes. I mean, this idea for the former ICE director, my co-panelist over here, that Alex Pretti, this VA nurse who was brandishing a cell phone, was somehow a threat that even after he had 6 full-grown men, like these grown-ass men on top of him, that he needed to be that the threat had to be eliminated by unloading his clip into him. I mean, you can say this and you can feel justified, and we'll have Officer Tatum over here back you up, because there's nothing that Trump or any of these secret police or the Trump administration can do that will garner any pushback. But that right there is the perfect testament to why nobody believes what's happening here. It's because even these ardent right-wingers in this country, and certainly the vast majority of independents, I'm talking 3/4 of independents in this country, are listening to this gaslighting and recognizing that it's not just a lie they're being told, but it's utter contempt that's being displayed by these Trump administration officials for the American people. Say again?
Well, I would say, Brian, as
what did
well,
I say that was
I thought
gaslighting?
that
this idea that Alex Pretti posed some threat where the response needed to be unloading his clip.
To be resolved.
And it's not going to be resolved, because the reality is DHS is not going to investigate any of this. DHS isn't going to investigate anything Pretty's going to do. Just like DHS, just like DHS is not going to investigate Jonathan Ross.
You see how they always got to go back to black people? See that? Why'd you bring up Michael Brown, sir? Always got to take a shot, right? Okay. Since we want to talk about people putting their hands up, what about old boy in Miami who got shot by that cop while he was on the ground? And he wasn't doing nothing except helping his patient. What about that? What about Walter Scott shooting that man in the back? Huh? Alton Sterling? Huh? We could keep going. Remember, y'all tried to change the rules. I'm not saying this white man, he was ahead of it, but y'all tried to change the rules when you found out after the pandemic, black gun ownership started going up. Then y'all started playing with the laws. Every time we see a video of black people with their guns out, motherfuckers is like, oh, if you love the Second Amendment, you shouldn't say, you should say bullet like a Jamaican, but y'all won't do it. I understand.
Because DHS doesn't investigate any of this stuff. So if the excuse is always going to be, oh, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this in some full investigation.
Then what should happen?
Should
he be charged with murder?
So we just have to listen to the gaslighting being fed to us by Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, JD Vance, and Kristi Noem.
Can we talk about use of force policy?
I want to mention this.
Convicted of murder?
Hang on. I want to mention at this stage, look, I want to bring in the incident with Ilhan Omar because it's kind of connected to this. So Ilhan Omar was doing a town hall in Minneapolis. She was attacking ICE. And then a guy comes out of the audience, he's sitting down, and sprays her with a strong-smelling liquid from a syringe. Now, that is a potentially extremely dangerous incident. No one knows what that could have been. It turned out to be, we believe, harmless. He is wrestled away. But had it not been harmless, had it been acid or something else, then maybe she could have been very seriously hurt or dead. Now, Brandon, what has concerned me about this is that from Donald Trump, and I think you have intimated this too, there's an immediate position by people on the MAGA right that because you don't.
This whole nigga right here with the bald head, though. You see how late he got up? What are you doing? Why didn't you watch the scene? Now you got Tatum out there talking about fake. I'm like, okay, even if it's fake, sir, this is what the precedent you want to set. I know we don't like a lot of the politicians, but how many times have we seen politicians get knocked off? Like, what are we doing? All right, I see where you're going. And by the way, I just noticed this too. The title ain't shit. They didn't even mention that Tatum Tots was on there. They mentioned a white boy with the 5 million subscribers. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Like Ilhan Omar, that she somehow staged this. It's not real. It didn't happen the way people think it did. This guy was a plant and so on. And again, it comes back to what I sense is a complete
He still got his legs crossed.
Of basic humanity. There ought to be parameters between left and right, where we can just agree when something like that happens, we all say this is terrible and shouldn't be happening.
Pierce, there's no jump to conclusion. I don't care about none of these people. They don't pay my bills. I don't have to say anything about Ilhan Omar. I don't really care about.
You a goddamn lie. You see how he lied? Tatum. Okay. You don't care about Ilhan Omar. She don't pay my bills. Let's go test that theory. Let me test that theory one time. I could be wrong here. I just want to see something. I'm going to go to his channel real fast. I want to see something. That nigga's still on 3.7. He ain't moved. Let me see. Let me look. Oh, Tatum. Why you lie like that, sir? Why you lie like that? Say it again.
We all say this is terrible and shouldn't be happening.
Pierce, there's no jump to conclusion. I don't care about none of these people. They don't pay my bills. I don't have to say anything about Ilhan Omar. I don't really care.
Oops. You lying Negro, you.
Stop the cap.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Nigga, what is this? What is this? I'm going to blow it up more. I want everybody to take a screenshot. What is this, sir? Ilhan Omar caught staging attack as Trump drops huge update into fraud investigation. I thought you didn't have to talk to her. And it looked like you made this video after you got off of Piers Morgan because you got on the same outfit. I thought you didn't have to talk about Ilhan Omar. 123,000 views in 13 hours. Huh. You out here lying to your people. I'm sure they probably didn't see you on Piers Morgan. You probably didn't tell them. That's interesting. There you go. Like, it's so verifiable. Go ahead, Brandon. Tell us more.
Care about her. But the bottom line, and Donald Trump don't pay my bills either. But the bottom line is
he lied again. Donald Trump don't pay your bills? You sure? You sure Donald Trump don't pay your bills? The nigga that was the white man that you followed around at the UFC event, he don't pay your bills. The one you went to the Young Black Leadership Summit twice at the White House, he don't pay your bills. Okay. Donald Trump don't pay your bills. Trump, 433,000 views in 2 days. He don't pay your bills, huh? He don't pay your bills? Trump, 90,000 in 3 days. Trump in this one, the one we just looked at. Donald Trump triggers The View a month ago, almost 600,000 views. He don't pay your bills, huh? President Trump dominates 60 Minutes host with receipts. Almost 300,000 views in 2 months. He don't pay your bills, right? 37,000 views a month ago on a live stream. He don't pay your bills, huh? I'm sure you got hella super chats in there. You sure he don't pay your bills? Okay. Trump takes major action after Christians and conservatives attacked in Minneapolis, 215. That was almost 10 days ago. Trump, 163. But he don't pay your bills. A year ago, 234,000 live. This is how you got started, Negro, doing Trump videos. But you're right. He don't pay your bills. He literally got where he's at right now because he was doing Trump videos. We already went over his history last month. We went over it. And he's sitting there lying. 1.1 million in 2 years. Donald Trump don't pay your bills, right? Okay. All right. Donald Trump don't pay my bills. That's what he said. Hold on. Is the sound working? Because I just got a thing that said the sound isn't working. Let me look. No sound. Son of a bitch. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let's try this again.
With someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up.
Let me see. Is there sound now or is it still screwing up? Let's see. Let me go check for myself. It's always them. It's always StreamYard, always screwing up. Damn, there's like no sound. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to fix this. Oh, it's good now? All right, cool. All right. Let's get back to this.
Spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert. And then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
you would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say, Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
Brandon, is the guy going to jail just for fun?
That's not true.
Is the guy going to jail just for fun? Is that part of the show? I just want to hear a little bit more about this theory. No, please, just 1 second. Just a question. I want to hear more about this theory. That guy.
I'm giving you the elements.
Is he going to jail for show? He's going to jail.
I'm giving you elements of why this looks strange to me.
So why do you think he's going to jail? Is it for show? Is he like Antifa? Is this part of like is this the lizard people?
Listen, was there anything in the syringe? It was inert. There was nothing poisonous. There was no pepper spray. There was nothing in the syringe.
I'm asking you.
Why are we setting the precedent that we can go throw stuff at politicians? Why? Sir, y'all don't want to go down this road. Y'all always justify bullshit like this, and then it get worse. Then y'all want to start complaining. Damn. Y'all were just bitching 2 years ago that Trump got shot at a rally. Why are we setting these precedents? Y'all said that was wrong. We agreed with you. Y'all got upset that people said that was staged. Now that the Democrats are doing it, now you want to act morally outraged? Cut it out. Y'all do not want to start setting precedents that you can knock off politicians. You sitting here saying, oh, it's fake. He just threw nothing. It was apple cider vinegar. Great. You still watch somebody get assaulted. When you just sat up there 20 minutes ago saying that Alex Pretti deserved what he got because he got assaulted. You can't have it both ways. And this is why people do not trust Brandon Tatum and a lot of law enforcement, because they double talk. By the way, Brandon.
They push an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
You don't understand law.
Shut up, Brian. Brandon, whatever your name is, the entire.
Yeah.
Why you think he's going to jail for this?
He sprays her with the syringe in the chest. She goes after him. If you're afraid of somebody spraying you with a chemical agent, you're not going to pursue them. He resisted not one bit. He goes to the ground. She says,
so you don't believe it, do you, Brandon?
Oh, wow.
You don't believe it?
I don't think that this was, I think this was staged. I don't know if it was true or not.
Can I ask a question here?
So in the history of this earth, somebody got assaulted or got something thrown on them like a drink or something, they don't go after somebody? That's what you're telling us. Okay. That's never happened. This is the first time. Okay.
Can I ask a question? What if Alex Pretti had sprayed a liquid onto this ICE officer? Would you have Brandon, would you have said that there was no threat at all?
It'd be aggravated assault.
And you would have supported executing him.
No,
just like you would have supported.
No, that wouldn't have been justification. That wouldn't have been justification for the ICE agent to react. But merely holding a phone, is justification to react.
Who said that it's justified?
This man said y'all are emasculated while his legs are crossed, bro. Bro.
This is the lamest fucking excuse. Only weak niggas say shit like this.
Sir is talking about emasculation while his legs are crossed. Come on, son. You kidding, man.
Why do you feel the necessity to insult people?
Again.
Is that
where's the script? Where's the script? Read the script.
Is this a big defensive thing that you've got?
Read the script.
Why don't you read your own?
He's not serious. Sir, you're the only one that looks emasculated on here. You're the only one on here who crashed out because somebody told you to shut up. He's not serious. Oh, no. Wait a minute. What Cosmo say? So people all of a sudden can't have adrenaline or a fight or flight response. Take them, sit your dumb ass down. As soon as I saw that comment, I heard about that TNA song, Adrenaline Rush. Look at the white man that told him to shut up. He's like, man, why am I here?
For somebody to spray something. We're talking about a specific incident where a man had a gun. They had a reason to believe that he
had a gun in his holster. He was holding a phone.
I couldn't clown in this man.
A gun. They had a reason to believe that he
had a gun in his holster. He was holding a phone. He was holding a phone.
Can we talk about masculinity for a second, Piers? I'd like to talk about masculinity for a second.
On him.
I would too. I would too.
Oh, you hear what he's doing now? He had a gun on him. Oh, like y'all said with Jalen Walker, even though the gun was in the back seat. Oh, y'all want to go there with me? So that boy needed to be executed with 90 bullets, even though he didn't have a gun on him. None of them cops got charged, by the way, for those who forgot. None of them cops got charged. They took the gun. Notice how he didn't refute that when it came to Alex Pretti. Tatum did not refute that the gun was taken. He literally is admitting that it's okay. They took the gun. They could still kill him. He was already on the ground. And then they backed up and shot him 5 more times. He was cool with that.
I have a gun on. Have you ever done law enforcement? Any one of you emasculated men on a thing? Have you ever done law enforcement?
You know, Brandon, I can field this one for you. I'm happy to take this.
Why are they emasculated?
Have you ever had to use force?
Can I talk,
and make a split second decision?
Apparently, Piers,
he's really about to tell us that being a cop is masculine. We're really about to do that? Okay, Tatum, you're really about to say being a cop is masculine. Okay.
Emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill
somebody.
somebody.
Look at his eyes, bruh. Look at his eyes.
Apparently, Piers, we're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody. Apparently, we're emasculated because we're not in support of 6 guys jumping on and murdering a nurse.
There's a use of force.
You're a real man, Brandon. You're a real man. You defend 6-foot men unloading a clip into a nurse.
Hang on.
So arresting people is manly. Oh, okay. Okay. This is beautiful. He all the way crashing out right now. He ain't got nothing to say. Let's go.
Hey,
hang on, please. Hang on. We can't hear you when you all talk. When you all talk at once.
It's not called a clip. It's called a magazine. He's really trying to run away from his supposed black identity.
Nobody hears any of you, Tim.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things on this question of whether I've been an officer. This appeal to authority. I haven't, but you know who has? The chief of police of Minneapolis.
No.
The chief of police of Minneapolis. Excuse me, Brandon. Let me finish talking. The chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference.
Shot Pretti.
Brandon, let him talk.
Well, actually, that's a good point. We actually don't know the man who shot Pretti because the federal government is hiding him, so we don't know who killed our citizens yet.
He crashed
but we know that the chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference after the shooting of Pretti, where he talked about how the judgment was irresponsible and how his police officers, every single police officer in the entire city of Minneapolis, shot 0 bullets last year. They encountered real criminals. Excuse me, let me finish. They encountered real criminals. Not the entire Minneapolis police force. Shut up, Brian. Brandon, whatever your name is. The entire.
I just noticed that white boy said Brian, not Brandon. But okay. It was still funny as hell. And he looked cockeyed as hell. Screenshot. Pause.
Not soy boy protesters like Alex Pretti. They encountered actual criminals. They encountered murderers,
not
rapists,
use of force scenarios.
Assaulted. Yeah, they did. They encountered those people. They were armed.
How many?
They disarmed 1,000. According to the chief of police of Minneapolis, they disarmed 1,000. They disarmed 1,000 people last year without firing a single bullet. These morons fired 10 bullets. And this whole thing about this definition of masculinity. Okay, it's like the really tough guys are the 6 mass goons pushing down a woman, pushing down a protester, and then getting scared. Oh, they saw a gun, and I got so scared, and I've got to shoot my bullet. Boom, 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 10 times. I'm so scared. I got to shoot my bullet. Those are the masculine men? No, I'm sorry. The masculine guy was the guy standing up for the woman, doing what men should do, standing up for the woman that got pushed down, and then in exchange for his bravery, a bunch of pussies shot him dead and unloaded 6 bullets into his dead body while he was laying on the ground. That's what happened. Those are the emasculated men, and I wish we had more men like Alex Pretti, but unfortunately he's dead.
Okay, let me.
He crossed the other leg now.
Let me bring in.
He switched legs. This is hilarious. He must have been losing the blood flow in the left one. Oh, I mean the right one. Whatever. We reversed it. This is hilarious. Right, left. I don't give a shit. Why are your legs crossed, sir?
You never carry a gun. You probably don't have a gun on you now. Quit acting like you bold. If you in a scenario,
think it's cool to just shoot people
have a gun on you
all the time? I'm concerned about your.
Why does he care if he has a gun on him? Why would he have a gun on during an interview in probably his house? Why would he have the gun on him? Huh? Yeah, Jay Foreman, good morning. They already went over that. That's what they're talking about right now. Now they went back to Alex Pretti. But this is funny as hell. So Brandon, are you meaning you have your gun on you at all times in the house? Okay. I mean,
I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
Oh shit!
I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
I think he called him a wuss. I don't know what he said. He stumbled over his words.
I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
I don't know what I think he was trying to say wuss or whipped or whatever. I don't know. This fake ass Tim Curry looking motherfucker. He out here. He trying to white girl rap. Get some.
Brandon,
how many people did you kill?
Brandon,
how many people you kill?
If I may, Brandon.
Oh shit! He pulled his card. Brandon did it. Brandon heard him. He didn't want to answer it. How many people you killed? Oh shit!
About your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
Brandon,
how many people did you kill?
Brandon,
how many people you kill?
If I may, Brandon, you don't have to be packing a gun to be a real man. I don't have a gun. Most people in my country.
Said that. The wussy said that. I'm saying that in order for you to judge a man who's making a life and death decision, in order for you to judge another man who's making a life and death situation, it would behoove of you or have any wisdom to be in a situation like that. I've been in a situation where I had to choose whether or not I had to shoot a person or not based on use of force policy and the threat of bodily injury or death.
Did you do it?
You have never done that. So it is weird for you to try to judge a person who's in that split-second decision when you don't even carry a gun. So how about you go on a ride along and do some training?
It's pretty easy to judge,
maybe you'll have a better perspective.
It's pretty easy to judge, actually. The guy was laying on the ground. He was a corpse. And the guy shot him from a distance. Boom, 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 6 times. It's pretty easy to judge whether it was a threat. And you can obviously tell that guy panicked. He shit his pants.
Let me bring in Jonathan. Let me bring in Jonathan. Look, there's a lot of movement going on here. Bovino's been sent packing from Minneapolis. Kristi Noem's been effectively gagged. A lot of heat on Miller. and others for putting them up to the rhetoric. They all seem to suggest it all come from Stephen Miller. Trump clearly aware that this is not working politically, but ICE remain doing what they're doing in other parts of America. They're deporting a reasonably large number of people, although interestingly, less actually in the first year than Biden did in his last year, for example. So there are some interesting parallels here. It's not apples and oranges because Biden was letting a lot more people in. But in terms of actual deportations, it's not overly successful so far, but it is attracting, I would argue, an overly negative context now for the administration. If you were running ICE now, what would you be recommending to Donald Trump about how they should conduct themselves going forward?
Well, I sort of disagree a little bit with your premise in terms of how it's been successful. I think about 1.9 or over 2 million people have taken the self-deportation option, which is removing, in which the government gives them $1,000, and now they've raised that to $2,600. And so you put that on top of the 600,000 that have been removed, and then nobody else coming in. It's been enormously successful. And how do you measure success? Well, we have the lowest murder rate since 1900 in this country.
Don't start doing that, sir. Violent crime, including murder, was already on a downward trend, sir. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
That crime rates are down about 20% nationwide. So our country is objectively safer. We know that. We know people aren't coming in droves anymore. And so you have to look at the big picture. We also know things like wages are going up, because when you look at illegal immigration, and from your country, it's not just something that has no cost to the citizens. It's enormously costly. Illegal immigration makes Americans poorer, less healthy, less safe, less educated. And that's not really even arguable. It costs $150 billion a year. And what's interesting, just in tax dollars, and not to mention all the other costs, and what's really interesting about this is everyone knows at this point Biden and Mayorkas are bringing people in deliberately because they want them to be voters and they want them to help in the census. There's really no serious argument against that. It's very interesting that the Democrats' response to everything is always stop the deportations. They never say, hey, let's think of a good way to get rid of the illegal aliens. They'll never say that. So it really is a tell where they're coming from. But as far as what I think a good messaging should be going forward is focus on the criminals for the deportations, meaning for the arrest outside of the jail, focus on the sanctuary cities, because one of the issues with Minneapolis is the sanctuary cities where they would rather turn over a child molester back into the community than turn them over to ICE. And by the way, Tim Walz wrote an op-ed lying about this the other day in the Wall Street Journal. So you have to wonder, is he even acting in good faith on this? But I think emphasize the criminals, emphasize the benefits from not having illegal aliens in the country, and also remember, deportations and border security are intertwined, because the reason people were coming under Biden was because they knew the second they set foot on American soil, they were all, for all intents and purposes, a citizen of this country. So you cannot have those policies or people will continue to come in. These all work together, but deport the criminals. Say who you're deporting, why, incentivize self-deportation, and talk about the benefits of not having illegal immigrants. As you know, in your country, it's a big problem.
I get it. Let me bring Brian back in. I want to play a clip of Jimmy Kimmel last night.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not.
Oh, that's MAGA's king right there. I ain't even gonna hold you. I thought y'all was gonna get this man fired. Anyway, Joshua McTaggart said Tatum was a cop for like 6 years. Wonder why he left. No pension for that time. The guy's a Trump bootlegger to the max. He knows it's all it is. Because his people gave him an ultimatum like they did Emerald Foodle. Either you continue to be a cop and stop talking about this Trump stuff, or you got to go. Because you're starting to skirt it where we can't protect you for your Second Amendment. We went over this. We did a whole live exposing his police career. And, he chose the latter. Yes, this is MAGA's king, because if you remember, Jimmy Kimmel, they alleged went after Trump in one of his monologues, and ABC threw him off because, they people's Trump shills over there at Sinclair. They said they weren't going to air his show. So they got him suspended for a week. And MAGA was running around talking about, oh, Jimmy Kimmel got fired. We're going to get him fired. And then he was back on the air that Monday and gave a bullshit apology. And now he's still making millions. MAGA, why y'all not going after Jimmy Kimmel? Then made it worse. Instead of ignoring him after what he said, they all put up the clip of his monologue when he first came back. Just dumb. But MAGA's liberals at heart. We know this. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for playing that. So we're just going to skip forward.
Well, really needs to stop crying. I just wanted to say that as a general blanket observation, that barely a week goes by when he's not blubbering like a baby about something. I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm just saying that it's getting a bit weary for me. But also, I don't remember him crying when Barack Obama was president. There's a clip doing the rounds today of Obama talking in really tough language about his own deportation record and why it was so important. He deported over 3 million people. No liberal friends of mine gave a damn or knew how many people he was deporting. He was putting kids in cages, separating them from their families, all the stuff that people chuck at Trump. But it was never an issue throughout those 8 years. He was the biggest deporter of people in the history of the United States in terms of pro rata per year as a president. So there's been a massive double standard there. And I can't help but think that one of the reasons is the liberal skewed media, which it is. I've worked in it. You could shoot a harpoon around the old CNN newsroom when I was there and not hit a conservative voter. That they just didn't care because it was their guy. And what happens this time, because everyone hates Trump on the left and the media collectively hate Trump. So they fire everything up. Then it becomes a huge thing. Then you have people going out in the streets and protesting because they've been whipped up by the media. Then you have these altercations with ICE. Then you have deadly altercations. And we're in the position we're now in. I'm not saying they're to blame, but I'm saying that part of what we're seeing here is something that never happened in the Obama years about this kind of issue of deporting illegal immigrants, because nobody cared. And my question for you is, all right, we can have Jimmy Kimmel blubbing on TV about it because he cares so much. Why didn't he care the same way when Obama was doing this? And did you care? And did you speak out about Obama's deportation record? Or do you accept that Obama pretty much shared Trump's view, which is actually, if you're in the country illegally, then you should probably be deported, because there are millions of people trying to become legally immigrants to the United States. And there are hundreds of millions who've come to the country over the last century who did it the right way.
Look, I can't speak to what my thoughts were during the Obama administration. I was in college, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to politics. But I would say in general, look, I am in favor of immigration. I think it's better for the economy. I also recognize that immigrants, if we've heard so much about crime, immigrants commit crime at lower rates than native-born Americans. So this isn't about stopping crime, because if this was about stopping crime, our law enforcement agencies would focus on the people who are actually committing it, certainly committing it at higher numbers, but they won't, because this is not about crime. That's just some flimsy pretext that people use to be able to justify this.
They're not always able to find people who are illegally in this country that commit crimes. When they have a crime committal stat, it's because they've been able to find the person and prosecute the person to some degree. People that are illegally in this country have no identity. They commit crimes with complete impunity. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. This idea that had an identity.
Wait a minute.
Do you think illegal and legal immigration are the same?
Look, of course they're not the same. Of course they're not the same. The reality is that
do you accept both, or do you believe in one or the other?
But they all get treated the same.
Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Just for starters,
you don't know what that means? The same.
If I could just say really quick 2 things on this point. Number one, right now they're deporting actually people that came the right way.
Sam, I gotta go move my car because apparently they're supposed to be doing some concrete work. So I'm gonna let it run. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
They're reporting people that came here as asylees or refugees, and they're sending them back, even though they've been going through the legal process. Excuse me, can I just finish? They are asylum seekers. They came across the border illegally. They showed up to a port of entry, and they volunteered. They've been going to their checkups with ICE, waiting for their court date, and they're deporting those people. So excuse me, just real quick. So those aren't illegal immigrants that are being deported. They're people that have done the right thing. They're being deported. And lastly, can you just let me say one other thing? Can I say one other thing?
20 million.
I just want to say one other thing before you respond. When you talk about illegal immigrant crime, I do have one pretty easy stat to point to. So far this year in Minnesota, illegal immigrants have killed 0 people. The ICE agents have killed 2. So 2 American citizens have been killed by ICE, 0 by illegal immigrants. So that's the current crime stat.
Kick out ICE and bring in illegal immigrants. Okay.
Well, kick out the murderers, I would say. I actually want to kick out the murderers. No, great. I want to kick out the murderers. The illegal immigrant murderers, get the hell out. The guy that killed Lincoln Riley, get the hell out. By the way, the guy that killed Alex Pretti, you get the fuck to prison as well. How about that? We get rid of all the killers.
If he's unjustified in his use of force,
you're manning up there.
Let me ask Brandon. Look at what
Jacob Fry done in Minneapolis.
If I can say one thing.
Hang on, please. Hang on, please. Guys, let me try and moderate the panel,
criteria, not the hysterics.
Let me moderate the panel.
I gave you a stat.
Brandon, do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy given that Obama deported 3 million people and was very strong in his rhetoric, as indeed Bill and Hillary Clinton were. The clips are everywhere, right? They all basically agree about the problem.
I'm for that, Piers. This is a question about hypocrisy. It's a question about killing American citizens.
I literally lost my mind
criminals is fine.
when I went back and listened to what Barack Obama said. What Barack Obama said about not coming to America, you would go to the back of the line. You didn't do it the right way. We're gonna catch you and we're gonna kick you out of our country. Everybody should be in lockstep with that. If you came here legally, we love you.
But they are coming here legally. Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy, who was wearing a 5-year-old boy who was wearing a Spider-Man backpack, a bunny hat. His father was here through the asylum. His father was here legally. He was going through the process. So there's always an excuse. You'll always complain. He was here. He was going through the process. He was the exact type of person.
Guys, don't talk at once, please.
Let him
please
talk.
Don't
Liam Ramos' father, the 5-year-old child.
Then
why not help
stop talking for a second?
Illegal
all right, go. Shut up.
A 5-year-old boy.
Right, please. Let Brian finish. Brian, make your point about the 5-year-old boy. Then Brandon, you respond.
Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy wearing a bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack, used this bait to get his father to come outside. He was here legally, going through the legal process, the exact thing that, Brandon, you're claiming you wanted to see, and yet he's now in the process of deportation. So the goalpost will always move. You'll claim that this is all about wanting people to go through the proper process, but then you've got people who are going through the proper process, and yet ICE still creates deportation porn out of their processes and tries to get them out of the country anyway.
Okay,
Brandon.
Okay, I want people to be very clear about this. You can come through the country without going through a port of entry. You're illegally in this country. You can come through a port of entry and your asylum claim gets denied, and you're also illegal in this country. So two things can be true at the same time. They did not use a 5-year-old to lure this guy. They already had an arrest warrant for him. He got arrested. He fled from them, leaving his child behind. They had to take the child into some type of custody for safety. The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have this kid in a safe environment because his dad did not care enough about him to take care of him. You guys are using a 5-year-old for your immigration porn. It is not true.
Immigration porn. Okay. Immigration porn.
If they lured that man. Listen, why can't we all on this panel say, legal immigration is good. If you come here illegally, you have broken the law and you have to be deported. Why are we against deportation of illegal immigrants? The two people in the middle make sense.
No, what are you talking
I'd like
about?
To get in here real quick.
You don't let me talk, but I'm for it. Start with the worst of worst.
Then why not encourage Minnesota to cooperate with ICE?
Because ICE isn't going after illegal immigrants. How hard do I say this? I agree with... Could I finish?
So they are trying to leave the illegals in and deport the legal ones. Well, why not have Minnesota give up the illegal immigrants that are in their jails? Why aren't you in favor of that? Or maybe you are in favor of that. I don't know.
They're doing that. Huh? The Minnesota Department of Corrections is working with
that is a sleight of hand. That is not. That is factually untrue. You can spaz out or do whatever you do, but that's not true. The jails are not turning people over, and that's a vast majority of people arrested. The prison system is, and that's the sleight of hand that Tim Walz is using there. But the jails are not, and that's factually true, and they would even admit it. Tim Walz.
And you can
spaz out and do your little shtick.
I'm just trying to reply.
But I think the other issue. All right, go ahead and reply, Tim.
Look, I'm with you. Criminal aliens should be handed over to federal ICE agents or federal CPB. I'm with you on that. And so if you have could you let me finish? And if you have a critique about the way that Hennepin County and Minneapolis is handling that is a fair critique, and that is fine. And we could talk about that policy and what the right policy is. I'm also for deporting people that came here illegally. What ICE is doing in Minneapolis is far beyond that remit. They are going after people that have asylum claims that have not been adjudicated. They're going after protesters. They're going after American citizens. They've jailed American citizens. They're going into neighborhoods. They're bullying people. They're pushing people, and they're murdering people. So if your issue is let's deal with Hennepin County prisons and figure out how to work better with them, then that's fine. You don't need to murder American citizens to achieve that goal. And so we can agree on that. I wish you could agree that American citizens should be shot dead.
Let me bring in Brandon.
More issues.
Let me bring in Brandon because I want to bring in just an update from Polymarket about Kristi Noem. It's quite interesting. We're following the prediction markets on the subject of who will be the first to leave Trump's cabinet. Almost uniquely, he's a year in and hasn't fired anyone from his cabinet yet. Polymarket has a $1.5 million market open, a lot of activity. As we speak, Kristi Noem is at 39% to be that first member of Trump's cabinet to be fired. She was just at 13% before the 2 deaths in Minneapolis. I mean, Brandon, do you think she's on the way out? Is she going to be the first casualty of Trump's cabinet?
I don't know. I think Trump is very loyal to the people that are in his cabinet right now. That's why he haven't fired.
That's a damn lie. He's not loyal to the people in his cabinet. And besides, MAGA hate women anyway. Either her or Pam are going to be the first ones to go. Well, technically, they're not really the first ones to go because that was Dan Bongino. He left. But if we're talking in terms of women, it's going to be one of them. Me personally, I think it's going to be Pam. But we'll see.
Anybody so far, but I do think that she's becoming incredibly unpopular on the Republican side. Now, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I don't pay attention to what she's saying. I don't care unless people are getting arrested and they're doing their.
Do y'all think he lied again? Because remember, we caught him lying twice about Ilhan Omar and Trump not needing them to pay his bills. Do you think he's lying about Kristi Noem? Because now this is the third person he said he don't care about. We're gonna look. He might be right. He might have finally told the truth. All right, we looking so far. He might have finally told the truth. Well, didn't he say something when South Park did their episode on her and said it was funny? No, he said it was offensive. That's what he said. He said Charlie Kirk one was funny. Let me see. Look. Well, this is what you put on your thumbnails, or okay. Okay. This nigga always got. Never mind. All right, so maybe he don't care about her. I don't know why he yelling like that. Jesus. All right.
Their job. But I do believe if she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, if she's doing things illegitimately and is not working on behalf of the country, get her sorry self out of there. And I believe that with anybody that's in the cabinet. I don't owe no loyalty to none of y'all. If you don't do your job, you need to get fired. And so if there's a fair evaluation of Kristi Noem and what she's doing and not doing, and if she's not doing what's right for the American people and she's committing fraudulent behavior, fire her. I think we all understand it. Can I give you the Border Patrol response real quick? Law enforcement and Border Patrol connection, because I worked in law enforcement in Tucson, which is a border state, and we work well with Border Patrol.
The nigga dumb. The nigga dumb. He said it.
Fire her. I think we all understand it. Can I give you the Border Patrol response real quick? Law enforcement and Border Patrol connection, because I worked in law enforcement in Tucson, which is a border state, and we.
Nigga. I know what you were trying to say, sir, but nigga. I bet you he thinks Africa is a country. Tucson's a border state. Okay. Okay. Tucson's a border state. Texas, nah, you know what they're gonna say next? Tucson is a border state. If you live in, he next gonna say, if you live in Kansas City, you gotta pay 2 taxes. I don't care if you're on the Kansas side or the Missouri side.
You want some more?
And you live in Manhattan or you work in Manhattan, you got to pay an island tax.
You want some more?
We might have more. I hate this man. You don't understand how much I hate this man. He said it. A border state. LA's a border state too, fam, because they did a movie about it with Kurt Russell. He had to rescue a motherfucker.
You want some more?
Because they have all the Great Lakes near them.
You want some more?
Facts. We might have more. New Mexico, you need a passport.
You want some more?
This is also a border state too, right?
You want some more?
Diego a border state too.
You want some more?
I hate this man so much you don't understand.
You want some more? Do you? All right, bim, bam, boom. Somebody get this nigga out of my way.
Work well with Border Patrol and ICE. And there's a big difference when you arrest somebody and they are illegally in this country. Now, local law enforcement do not have jurisdiction to arrest them for their federal crimes. But we do take them to the jail and we put them on what we call an ICE hold. Therefore, they cannot leave the jail facility even when they're done serving for their city crime or their state crime. The ICE agents will come and verify them and take them. That keeps the community way safer because ICE does not have to go into the community. When you force ICE to go into the community and then you have idiots harassing them, doxing them, throwing stuff at them, blockading their vehicles, you create an unduly risk. This is why ICE's patrol or even Border Patrol and their assistance with ICE around the entire country, and you don't see people getting shot and no hardly anywhere else. You would say 99% of the shootings are in Minnesota. What?
Yeah, dude. Okay. You do see people getting harassed in other places, actually, not just Minnesota. Minnesota's just the only place they've murdered anyone so far. But they've harassed people. They jailed citizens in California. They shot people in Chicago.
Give me the murder numbers. Give me the people who have been murdered by ICE, and then you tell me where they were murdered
this year. There have been 2 people murdered by ICE in Minneapolis so far. And then
one city.
Renee Good and now it's Pretti. And then they shot a guy in Chicago. A gal in
Border
Chicago.
Patrol agent. No, Renee hit an ICE agent with her car. She got shot. This guy came and confronted and physically assaulted and had physical contact.
I'm sorry. I can't do any more of this apology of killers.
You
can't. Brandon, according to The Guardian, 2025 was ICE deadliest year in 2 decades. They shot 32 people. I'm sorry. The 32 people died in custody. Let's see. Didn't they come out with something saying that they killed a whole bunch of people since they started? I'm gonna look this up real fast.
Do whatever you want, man, but do not smear dead people.
If this guy goes to jail for shooting Pretti,
it's shameful. What you're doing is shameful. You should be ashamed.
You don't understand the law. Don't get mad at me.
I'm not mad. You should repent.
You don't understand the law.
I think what Brandon is doing. I think what Brandon is doing is actually pretty instructive because the reality is that everybody saw the video. Like 85% of Americans saw this video.
It doesn't matter. You don't understand the law.
Brandon,
so what you're seeing is not according to what they're going to be judged by.
Control yourself. Brandon, try to control yourself.
No, how about you listen?
Try to control yourself. Just try like 2 seconds to not talk.
Give me the law. Give me the law that he's going to be prosecuted.
Brandon, 2 seconds, man.
Give me the law he's going to be prosecuted.
This isn't a good testament for how law enforcement officials are able to control themselves. 2 seconds.
It's not a good testament.
The reality is the vast majority of Americans
like you don't know the law.
Brandon, just shut up for like 2 seconds.
Where's the law?
The vast majority of Americans saw this video. We know what we saw with our own eyes. Even conservatives, even
wait a minute. So the other white guy told you to shut up. You told him to come make me, but this liberal tells you to shut up, and you just keep the conversation going. Get some. Bruh. Oh no, Brandon, you're not keeping it consistent.
They push an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
You don't understand law.
Shut up, Brian. Brandon, whatever your name is, the entire.
Oh, because he didn't yell at you to shut up. Oh, okay.
Know that what ICE was doing was completely unjustified. That he was holding his cell phone and was bombarded by 6 grown-ass men who shot him dead. And the fact that you're standing up here, Brandon, just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
Oh my
God! Sit up here and claim.
You talking something gonna work with me, buddy?
Now he said, "Shut the fuck up." You talking tough ain't gonna work on me, sir. Talking tough. You right. You don't got to talk tough. You're exactly right, Brandon. Nobody got to talk tough to you.
They're quick to run and grab that talking point of Biden and Hillary Clinton, and created the, I'm gone, man. Bill. They created the crime bill. You the fakest nigga I ever seen in my life. They created the crime bill. I see you in person. They created the crime bill. They created what you said. They created. I'm done, bro. You a fake nigga. I hope everybody see that. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. And when I see you, nigga, we gonna be. It's gonna be on. I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself. Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime? You's a bitch. I told you. Everybody on your live stream know you's a bitch, and when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. Everybody got your live stream. I like it. You want to be hood, nigga? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me, and you call me? You saying you apologize? Yeah, nigga. I never apologize. You apologize? I never apologize. You didn't apologize. My wife listened to you, nigga. I never apologized. What I said was, bitch, nigga. That's what I said.
You're right. You don't have to. You don't have to yell at him. You just get after it. Okay.
By 6 grown-ass men who shot him dead. And the fact that you're standing up here, Brandon, just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. The fact that you can sit up here and claim.
You talking tough ain't gonna work with me, buddy. Give me the law.
What are you gonna do? Shoot him 10 times?
Oh my God!
This whole time, you're pretending.
Damn!
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking rough. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the moan to block the bubbles and.
My God, he said, what are you gonna do? Shoot him 10 times? My God.
Man, you out of your man, what is boy, you peeling, nigga? Fuck you been doing?
He out here talking.
Cosplaying as a tough guy while you bootleg for 6 grown-ass men who jumped on a nurse and shot him dead. This is not the tough position. You are defending you. Being a bootlegger is not a tough position, my dude. Being a bootlegger for a bunch of grown-ass men who killed a nurse who was helping a woman is not the tough position that you think it is.
Gentlemen,
where is he gonna be?
Can I just say, gentlemen, I had hip surgery a week ago. And can I just say,
I don't give a fuck. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Oh, Tatum. It's bad out here, my dude. I get it. Somebody with more subscribers than you cooked your ass. But I find it funny, before we go, that he must have known he fucked up, because y'all want to see the coat that he tried to pull? He pulled some coat this morning.
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Y'all see this, right? Justice Nazra Ahmed went viral crying at a press conference claiming ICE agents kidnapped her, assaulted her, and called her the N-word. Now she's in federal custody for assaulting officers. Poetic justice hits different. I don't know how that's poetic justice, but okay. He put this up this morning at 7:47. Interesting. Let's see. I want to see if he put up any clips from this deal. Let's see. Somali sushi. Okay. Why are you retweeting this and they still don't have, they ain't telling you who's playing? Oh God. This isn't just protesting. This is watch the full video here. Oh, the full video that everybody saw. You still trying to do it. Okay. No response to the white boys cursing you out. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. You retweeted the motherfucker doesn't even know what a nonprofit organization, how they make money. This is who I gotta go. My head's starting to hurt. Let me leave. Let me leave. I'm gonna go hang out with wifey. Let me leave. No, let's hope you get the funding that you need. That's what's up. But anyway, y'all, hopefully you learned something. If you did a dumber job. If not, I try to be better next time. Later, we will be doing the Sambo Lorien Awards. And that should be fun. The Cardi B video will be going up soon. Probably going to launch it tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I ain't sure yet. But yeah. So y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Stay warm out there. Stay safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos kind of mess up your existence.
They push an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon. The entire Minneapolis police force.
Do you not understand law?
Shut up, Brian.
You can't tell
Brandon,
me to
whatever your
shut
name
up.
is, the entire.
Oh, here it goes.
Time's up.
Get your ass up. We gotta get out of here now.
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove
At the end of the day gotta end.
And that's it.